I'm having two next.
Can you open that yourself? You want me to do it for you? I can do that.
Yeah. That's good.
There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's doing the whole cabin now.
He's doing the whole cabin? Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the main cabin right here, and all of the wood that you see is cut from the land, cut and taken to a sawmill and into paneling. You can see a lot of the furniture here. The table was manufactured, was built by my father, and all these chairs and the benches there by the windows. The wood flooring is also from the land. And my dad wanted to have the open air feeling similar to a cabin, a hytte in Norway. So we see it's completely open with the beams. The fireplace, there's an upper and a lower fireplace, and they were built by a local craftsman. And it's all field stone, and he did one heck of a job on that. It's used a lot, not in the summertime, but we come up here for winter weekends and it's really roaring, as well as the downstairs one. We have a couple of bedrooms over here, small bedrooms, and the kitchen that's over here. But it's very, very comfortable, very cozy. And as I said, we used to spend Christmas up here. We put the Christmas tree over in the corner. And it got to be cold, of course, in Christmas time, but we had a good time. I'd like to point out the light fixtures here. That's an interesting story behind them. Those light fixtures are from a local church in our hometown of Gaylord. And for some reason he was able to get a hold of these. But the interesting part about it is if you look at it closely, they are hanging upside down. They are supposed to be the other way around. I think my dad just thought it looked better this way. And they have these gigantic bulbs in there that I think are just obsolete. I'm not sure you can even buy them. So if we have a bulb fall out, I don't know how we're going to replace it. For many years, this was unfinished down here. There was a concrete floor, concrete walls, and the only thing we had down here was the bathroom. And then probably about 10 years ago, we started finishing this. And my brother-in-law did a lot of work on this. And you can see it's patterned after what you see upstairs. It's just the nice wood paneling, the wooden floors. The fireplace down here gets a lot of use again in the wintertime. And because this was unfinished, we didn't use that fireplace for quite a while, but now we do use it. I think my father came over in something like 1936, thereabouts. And he answered an ad in a Norwegian newspaper. They were looking for a butler at the Norwegian embassy in Washington, D.C. And he answered the ad and got the job. So they sent him over on, one of the steamship lines for Norwegian American lines. And of course he had to pay his own way, but he couldn't afford it, so he had to work it off when he got here to work at the embassy. So he worked at the embassy for a number of years. And then he worked at the Japanese embassy also. And that was just before Pearl Harbor Day in 1941. And he kind of knew something was going on because of the meetings they were having at the Japanese embassy, but of course he couldn't understand anything. And then there was Pearl Harbor Day, and then all the embassy employees left town and he lost his job. But he met his wife at a Norwegian Christmas party. And they just hit it off and started dating and got married. And the first two children were born in Washington, D.C., my older sister Margaret and myself. Then they moved to North Dakota for a short period of time because that's where my mother's mother was, my grandmother. And they took care of her for a while, and then they moved to the little town in Minnesota called Gaylord, where my father started the Culligan Saltwater business.
This was woven in Norway around 1900 by the woman that is in that photograph. And it was, we just read the history of it, and we believe that it was brought to the United States, to Minnewacan, by a relative in Norway when he visited America in the early part of the 20th century. It may have been around 1909. That's what we're thinking. So it's about 120 years old. And we have a lot of these really beautiful pieces here that I don't know that it's antique, but it is, I think, a type of rose mulling because it does have those sort of curly features and the flowers, but it isn't painted the way a lot of rose mulling is painted. So,
Are you coming in?
I mean, that's just gorgeous craftsmanship.
isn't it beautiful?
Better late than never.
That's
Everything's
okay.
fine.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm gonna do
All right.
editing.
So, but I wanted to show you this piece that's in the corner, the rose mulling, and it was in Mabel and Bjarna's dining room when they lived in Coon Rapids. That's as far back as I know that it is gone. But it was painted by their friend Cleone Tang, and she painted a lot of the rose mulling that you see in the cabin. She painted the ceilings up in the guest cabin, and she's painted bowls for them and trays. But I wanted to show you the cabin. Here's there you go. Here's a photograph of Mabel and Bjarna in Coon Rapids with that corner cabinet in the background, and
So it's the same cabinet.
it's the same cabinet. And then here's a picture of Mabel and Bjarna. I believe this was taken of them in San Diego. I think it was San Diego.
Sure.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to see some other examples of rose mulling. You took a picture of the, let's see, the fireplace downstairs, the mantle downstairs. Let me show you that.
Yeah, I got a wide shot of the room and
Oh, okay. It's too bad that it's really messy because it looks beautiful when it's not a disaster. So, but anyway, these.
How can I
Okay, so this is an original photograph of, I don't know who it is, but it was taken in Norway. Well, here's the reverse of this same photograph, but it was taken, it could have been of Mabel's, I don't know whether it was Mabel or Bjarna's ancestors, I can't remember. But here's a beautiful photograph of Mabel and Bjarna, and Mabel's wearing her bunad, which is a costume worn on very festive occasions, and they're beautifully made and decorated. Lots of detail in the trim pieces here. And this is not rose mulling, but it's hand carved. We have a rose mulling upstairs. So.
Hello.
that's pretty cool.
Yes, and this, we think that this may have been one of the suitcases that Bjarna, when he came to the United States, we think that this may have been one of his suitcases. And then there's an old chest that we believe Bjarna also used when he moved to the United States, immigrated to the United States in the 1930s. This is a toboggan that was used up here in the winter, and the snow was so deep when they came up at Christmas time that they had to transport things from the end of the driveway or the road and transport them up to the cabin because the snow was so deep. This is also a backpack that Bjarna used when he was younger, I think when he would do his cross-country skiing.
I mean, and what kind of Norwegian place would be complete without skis?
Absolutely. Look at that. We've got some skis over there. We have the snowshoes over here. And but I will tell you about this other corner, which I think is really wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, this was Mabel's desk, and she, after she passed away, we brought it up to the cabin, and it's filled. I mean, it's filled with history. A lot of the old Bibles that she had, the farm in Norway. I think it dates from 1742. I thought that's the date that we saw, not on the photograph, but on the farm when we visited. These are really very old photographs from Minnewacan, North Dakota, where Mabel's parents lived, and where I believe Mabel was born in Minnewacan. But all of these beautiful old photographs, and Mabel was very good about labeling everything. I mean, names, dates. Here's a beautiful diary of hers that she filled in when they moved, or they traveled to Norway as a family with Mabel Bjarna and their 4 children in 1956. And this is a very detailed diary and really nice to read through. I believe that Mabel, I don't know if one of her other relatives went along, but they did travel over there for the entire summer with a big American car, and they drove it around Norway, and for, I believe it was 3 months. There are lots of old albums down here, and we also have a lot of very old photographs of the family. Everything is very recorded chronologically, and correspondence between Mabel and friends of hers, and when she was in, I believe, high school. But beautiful old photographs of the family, and everything is just recorded by Mabel. She kept very detailed records of everything. We have over here is a collage that we made, and after going through old papers and photographs, this is the citizenship of, let's see, Ole Acker, I believe. He became a citizen of the United States in 1899.
That's pretty cool.
I know. This is a photograph of Ole and Marie in their younger days, and then this was also a photograph of his store in Minnewacan, North Dakota, and this is they traveled to Norway in 1937, and this is a photograph of them on the ship, and then their I guess ID to be attached to the naturalization certificate.
Wow.
Isn't that a beautiful history? And this is, of course, their wedding photograph. Is beautiful. Why don't I just get this out of here so you don't need to have a...
Yep. Yeah, Bob showed me this photograph, and
It's a beautiful...
he didn't really get as detailed in here, which is nice. That is, I mean, to see the farm is...
Yes. The date on that, when Bill and I were in Norway, we just couldn't believe it. I really think it was 1742. And it's just passed from one generation to the next. But a lot of this is so detailed. I mean, this was, I believe, Miss Acker. I mean, I believe this is one of her, like an autograph book from when she was in maybe high school. Look at that. It's from 1906. Dear Mrs. Acker, forget me not, forget me never, until the sun shall set forever. Your friend, Belle Mayos. And so this is when she was in school, but she kept that. Just beautiful memories. So we encourage all the family members to go through this, because there are wonderful things to see in this desk. So anyway, let's see, what else? What else can I show you? Not the messy bed. This lower level was redone about 5 years ago by Richard. It's not complete. There are a few things left, but this is where it's nice to spend the afternoon on a very hot summer day, and use the fireplace on cold winter days or cool fall days. All right, so.
Just getting a cutaway.
Okay, all right. Let's see. What else? What else can I show you up here? We're taking a tour of the Norwegian.
show them the Hitta book and read a passage.
Okay. All right, I will do that. This is our most current Hitta book. And Linda, I believe, ordered this from Norway. And we've been keeping a record of people's visits from, I believe it was the 70s. I think that was the earliest one that I saw. And we encourage people at the end of their visit to send us photographs and just a recap of their trip and the experiences that they've had and how they enjoyed their visit to Barnavon. So we really do encourage people to give us their thoughts after their visit. So
That's
here
cool.
it is. It's very centrally located. So now this is a very old piece, and I do have to tell you the story about this.
Is it the bowl?
The bowl. It's called a Tina. Gretchen, is it a Tina? Tina? Yeah. Sounds right. This is my understanding, is that it is called a Tina. Mabel's mother, when she lived in Norway, she was taking care of I can't remember whether it was sheep or cows up in the mountains, and she worked for this one family, and the sheep or cow became injured, and she was able to repair the deep slash on the body of the animal, and as a thank you gift from that family, they gave her this antique piece that's called a Tina, and presented her with that gift. It's probably from, oh my gosh, it could be from the late 19th century. I'm not quite sure about that, but trust me, it's old. And this is how it, now, oh my gosh, if only I had my glasses. If only I had my glasses. Heike, can you,
Good, Riley. You got in touch with Gloria. That's perfect. She's got all the knowledge.
Can you read this, Heike? Can you see without your glasses?
Oh man, let's see. I think I can do it.
Can you, Jolene? Can you read
This
without your glasses?
Tyne. Which Tyne?
I think it's called a Tina or Tyne.
Oh, Tina.
T-Y.
T-Y-N-E.
T-Y-N-E. I think it's a Tina. We'll
Was
have to
given to Ingeborg Johnson, Bjarna's mother, Ingeborg Nielsen.
Oh, Bjarna's mother. Sorry.
Bjarna's mother.
Okay.
Before 1900. She was spending the summer in Hallingdal with the family she worked for, Jan Mette. Did you know that?
No.
A cow had injured herself on a barbed wire fence. Ingeborg was able to sew up the injury and save the cow. For this, she was given the Tine as a gift.
Yes, that's a wonderful story.
Which one? So this right here?
Is Bjarna's mother. This is from the late 19th century, and it's sort of, you know what? I think they were designed like this so that rodents couldn't open these boxes and get it off and get in there. So that's the history of that beautiful piece. Let's see. Other than that, oh, I know what I'm going to show you. I think this is really cute. Here's a collage of some photographs, and this is the picture of the Nielsen family in I'm going to say the early 60s because I couldn't find a date on that card, but it was right after the cabin was built. And then here's a photograph from 1979. And then the most recent one that's in here is from 06.
Hold on a second, let me get a... Is Heike in any of these?
No, these are all of the children.
Okay.
These are the 5 Nielsen children. So Heike is the son of Bob. Let's see, where is Bob here? Bob is right here. Bob is down here. And the grandson of Mabel and Bjarna.
Sure. Well, that is pretty cool.
I know, isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't changed much, have they?
Well, you know Norwegians.
Yeah,
Oh, cool. What's that a picture of right there? That,
this is called a Stavkirke, and it's a church in Norway. It's a very famous church, and when Bill and I were visiting Norway, we took a photograph of it, and it's really just beautiful.
Sure.
And that is another photograph of the farm, but it's hard to see because it was such a cloudy day. Oh, I'm going to show you one more thing that I think is really wonderful. Now, this notebook, for anyone who visits Barnevon, not Bjarnevon, is this is a history or just a detailed diary of their trip to Norway in 1956 with a family. And all of these papers are a history of the historic things that are found in the cabin in Barnevon. This was, oh my gosh, I think Linda compiled this, I'm not sure. I'm going to show you what it is. Mabel, after her trips or for special anniversaries, birthdays.
I'm gonna have you turn this way,
okay. Yes,
just so
that's
you're
really
facing
pretty.
the light.
Okay. So
we go.
Mabel, for anniversaries, birthdays, special occasions, she always wrote something about that person or that event and gave very detailed descriptions of it. So Linda, I believe it was Linda, compiled this book of all of Mabel's writings. And you can see it's pretty extensive. So it's just, it's about her brothers, the family, the trips. And so we have it here in the living room area of Barnevon. So anybody that visits is certainly welcome to read this. It's wonderful. It's beautifully written. Mabel was a wonderful writer. So anyway, that's that part. And let's see. I have to. Alrighty, what else? What else can I tell you? I am going to show you this picture because I think it's beautiful. It's a picture of Mabel and Bjarne that could have been when they lived in Washington. I'm not quite sure about that, but I think it looks like a Ralph Lauren ad. It's beautiful.
I would concur.
Yeah. Oh, good. Great. Thanks, Riley.
Cool.
These, I'll tell you a little bit about the history of these lights. I think there was I hope I have my details correct. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, there was a church closing it could have been in Minnewacan, I'm not quite sure, or Gaylord. And Bjarne was astute enough to say, I would really like to have these lights. And so he was able to retrieve them from the church that was being demolished or closed. And they're in the cabin here, in the dining area, and also, Britt, where was that church that was closed? And one in the living area. I'll turn it on and you'll see how pretty it is. This is another wonderful lamp that Bjarne brought back from. Mabel and Bjarne brought back from one of their trips to Norway.
That's cool.
Isn't that a beautiful piece? And there's one, it's not similar to that, it's sort of similar. It's up in the guest cabin, so there's one up there. Is that enough history?
Oh, I think, yeah, that sounds great.
Did you get a good feel for, what the cabin is and the history and if people are really,
absolutely.
Okay, all right, great. Okay. Oh, this organ. This is another one that Mabel played, but I really can't tell you too much about it, other than Mabel loved to play this organ.
Guys,
Photographs. This is probably one of the last photographs of Mabel playing the organ up here, and
So it's an actual photograph of
Yes.
her playing
up here.
the organ where it currently sits,
Yes.
which is cool.
Yes.
Can I read it now?
This cuckoo clock, I think, was bought from Sears and Roebuck many years ago for $25 or something. They always wanted a cuckoo clock, and and it's still in the cabin. And what I would like to tell you is that I think I have all the stories straight. I'm not quite sure, so I apologize if something is a little off here, if the dates aren't quite right. Jeez. Oh, God.
Well, there's a lot of history in here. So.
Now, this is, I'll just tell you the story of this, but what's interesting is when Bill and I were visiting Norway, we went to a very old cabin on a distant relative's property. And the entire cabin, this probably dates from sometime in the early 1800s, the entire cabin is painted. All of the bowls are painted, the furniture is painted, the walls, the windows, everything. This is all painted, the entire interior of the cabin. So that we took a photograph and thought it looked really pretty up here. So
Cool.
all right.
Should we go out and
Yes.
get the four?
Yes.
Can you help me rally them
Oh,
together?
absolutely, I will. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, we need the four siblings.
Okay.
Carol, Linda, Bob, Bill. Okay. Siblings. Okay, they're all handy. Okay.
Okay, the video man.
Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, okay, so today we're going to go up and throw water balloons. Put this down.
Who's the target?
I don't know yet, but we're gonna sneak around the corner. No, we're gonna sneak around the corner, and then we're gonna get like 2 or 3 water balloons. And we're gonna go up there and throw on it. So
Okay, I'll follow you guys. You guys do what you're gonna do.
get 2 water balloons, guys.
I need one water balloon because of
Okay,
this.
let's go. Get
Okay.
2 water balloons. Don't throw.
Everyone be quiet. Everyone gotta be quiet.
Wait, whoever is doing that?
I don't know.
Don't do it, Mika. No. Mika, don't. Mika, don't do it. Mika.
Mika, no. Hey, Mika.
Mika.
Ava, no.
Ava, no, stop it.
She already knows I said no, I don't care if she gets that at all.
What's the plan?
I don't want her to get other people.
Okay.
No, Mika. What other book?
You missed.
Come on, let's go get more.
So we got up here yesterday and spent the entire day on the water, boating, tubing, zupping, water skiing. Did anyone go fishing? Yep,
Yeah.
some people went fishing. So spent the entire day on the lake, and what did we do last night? We had a dance party.
Oh yeah.
And lots of great food and great company. So we were having a great time.
And we're holding a ping pong tournament. So that's what we've been doing over the course of 2 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And getting ready for bingo. So lots of fun activities. We're so happy to be with everybody.
Yeah.
So now, I was told that the last family reunion wasn't, or it was in 2003. So what's it like to have that kind of time go by, and then to all be back together?
Yeah, well, it's pretty amazing because these two were not in the picture at that time. So it's crazy to look at photos and think of what your future holds and how everyone comes back together. And, you know, after that time passes, it's like everyone just reconnects like we just saw each other recently, so it's just really cool how that works out. And the cousins always reconnect, and it's just instant, so pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys would love to add?
Guess not.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Oh no.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, I had the most amazing time at the lake. Bill took me out water skiing, and Gretchen and Britt gave me great pointers, and I was able to stand up briefly.
Yay.
And that was the highlight of my lake time. But I just want to say I'm so grateful I married into this family, and I'm so grateful for Margaret for having Elling and being such an incredible mother and making it possible for us to be here. I love you, Margaret. I wish you were here.
Oh, that makes me sad.
What about you guys? Do you have anything to say?
Happy.
It's been an absolutely amazing weekend. And it's been really good to reconnect with everybody who we don't get to see very often.
Tell me about the desserts.
Phenomenal.
One of a kind?
Dessert.
Outstanding?
Unique. And indescribable. Human communication can't quite keep up.
I will tell you about the dessert we had last night. Linda and Rich made it. It was a very special cake, chocolate cherry cake that Mabel used to make. It was a very complicated recipe that required a lot of stirring, but it was a recipe, a dessert that everyone really loved. So last night, Linda and Rich had this prepared. It was made in at their home in Minnetonka. It was frozen. She made the cupcakes though with the little Norwegian flags on it, and they were really delicious. So that's a little bit about the dessert.
Good memory.
Good memory of the dessert.
Yeah. And
yes.
back in the day, if Mabel made you that cake, you knew you were in. Yeah. I was hoping to have one of those cakes for my birthday, because then I knew that I was accepted into the family.
But another thing that Mabel really enjoyed making were, and I just found this out, and it was probably in the back of my memory. It was her chocolate chip cookies, which were always she always had a tin in the freezer. So anytime anyone came over to visit, of course, Bjarne would pour you a cup of coffee, and she would bring out the chocolate chip cookies, which were delicious from the freezer, which were delicious. So she had that recipe down to a science.
And Britt can duplicate.
Right.
I think she's the only one.
Right. Yeah.
So.
But another nice thing this weekend, it was over several days, which I thought was nice. And somebody had mentioned that, and that's really true. Instead of a one-day reunion, we had 3 days, sometimes 4 days, to really do different things and really get to visit and know people I hadn't seen before, and little Gracie that I'd never seen. So.
That
was special.
She is a prize. She's beautiful.
So
and we hadn't seen Ava. We had never seen Ava. Had met Ava. So.
Yeah, that's right.
So let me ask you this, guys. So the last reunion was in 2003. So one of the cool things about doing a video like this is, I hope you guys have a reunion every year. But if you don't, you'll be able to look back at this video in 10 years from now, and it'll be like a blast from the past.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
So give me your thoughts on just maybe how time moves and how the family's grown and things have changed.
Go ahead.
03,
that was the year we got married.
Yes, I know. The reunion must have been a few months before we got married.
Right.
So we were married in September, and I'm sure it was in July, and I'm sure it was pretty overwhelming for me.
So
now
18 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So 03. Oh my gosh, that's really went by fast.
Oh, it's red box.
Cool. The only reason I ask is because that's
This weekend has been everything I could have hoped for, and planning this over a year ago now. I mean, we're here in 2021 in the middle of a pandemic still, and we were able to still get 28 Nielsen family members here at Barnevon, the lake that my grandfather Bjarne built in '61, and his wife Mabel and them, came up here a lot, and we haven't been up here as much in the last 9 years, just because we live in Colorado. It's difficult to travel up here, but this family reunion has been, just awesome. It's been, everything we could have hoped for, and we had 8 kids here. Our youngest is like 16 months, and the oldest is 13. So, it was just awesome to see them have all the water sports and everything like that. So, very blessed and happy that we made it through the weekend. So,
Just talk to me a little bit about the incident and the wild goose chase that you went on today.
yeah. So, well, we had my 2 girls. Got to get all these ants I'm stepping on here. My 2 girls are actually going to camp next week along with Isabella, and they had to get a COVID test prior to going. And a few days ago on Wednesday, Mika had tested positive and no symptoms or anything like that. So we all just kind of were like, interesting. Well, so we got another test today, and that one came back negative. So, she didn't have any COVID, and we're just, happy for that. And then today we went down there to get the second test, and on the way back, Danica got in a jet skiing accident out there. First time she got tossed off and broke her wrist. So, but fortunately she's a brave cookie, and we're gonna have to get it casted when we get back. It's in a splint right now, and she'll be good and back in about 8 weeks and back on jet skiing and all sorts of things they do fun here. See, I was born in '75, and my earliest, not memory, but the earliest time I was here was probably when I was 2. Ironically, for a Christmas, they used to have this cabin open even during the winter time, and they had that fire roaring. But that was the first time I had come up here when I was 2, and just over the years, just have a lot of memories. Aunts, uncles, parents, grandparents, Scrabble games, shoot the moon, all of it. We've done it here, and it's just 60 years today, this weekend. This cabin was built, and it's quite astonishing and just memorable that we're here this many years later doing things that people back then did. It's just awesome to see.
Can't believe that I had you interview with ant. What do you describe what you're dealing with here?
I don't know. I stepped on whatever anthill, and I thought I moved far enough away, but they're into my sandals, and now I was kind of doing the dance. So it looked like I needed to go to the bathroom while I was doing this interview. That's not the case. It was these ants right here that were making me dance around. So hopefully they weren't a fire anthill.